I'm happy to start. Can you just describe the feeling just sort of coming into this week with a win, getting a try yourself, and just what it can do just for the momentum of this team heading throughout this rugby championship and spring tour?
Yeah, it's been a good week so far. It's only sort of 2 days in, but I think it was a really good game over the weekend. I thought it was a really good test match where it sort of ebbed and flowed throughout the game, and I thought we did a really good job in those sort of last 5 minutes to close it out and put ourselves in an opportunity to kick a penalty.
I guess that's patience towards the end there, of just grinding it, going through your gears and just finding a way to sort of get the result there. Do you think that just sort of has come with the growth and maturity of this side throughout these test matches?
Yeah, I think throughout the game we showed some patience. I think we held the ball for 27 phases at the start, which I don't think we've done for a long time. And look, it wasn't perfect, but I think you're starting to see the way we can sort of retain the ball and I guess add some pressure to the other team. And we did that considering the conditions. Like, it was pretty windy and rainy too. And I thought they did a great job sort of in those last sort of 7-8 phases to close it out. Some really good carries with some bit of vigour in the clean-outs too. But really good way to close it out.
You just give us your reaction when you see Thomas Gallo go down the short side there. So all of a sudden gets through Frosty and you're having to make that sort of try-saving tackle to stop a try 15 minutes away from full time.
I don't know if it was a try saver. I think he bumped me, but I thought it was a pretty good job from Will. So he did a great job there. But look, I'll take it. But yeah, I didn't do much to him. He ran straight over me.
And I'm just getting back, I guess you had back-to-back games now in wet conditions, but it looks like a dry forecast for the entire week. Is that, as a sort of background, is that just music to your ears? And is there sort of that sort of itchiness in the backline to really showcase what you guys can do and sort of unleash the sort of full playbook?
Look, we're excited to play in sort of any conditions at the moment. I thought we handled it for the majority on the weekend pretty well, and we're expecting dry conditions. What is it, sort of Arvo kickoff time, and we definitely see potential in our attack, and I think dry conditions will probably suit us a little bit more to be able to play sort of a little bit more expansive, but also really important that we get the fundamentals right around carry clean and sort of that ball retention that you saw in the game on the weekend.
Jake, on that attack side of things, I guess the second Wales test was wet. Georgia was a bit of a tricky opponent. 2 Springboks tests, then it was wet again. And we kind of just, as conditions sort of dictated what you've put on the field so far, have you guys got more there that you've been working on that maybe dry conditions can allow?
Yeah, I think especially in test match footy, like, field position's so important, and you see teams nowadays that go so hard at the ball that it doesn't always allow you to play, some footy in your own half. I think weather's definitely dictated how we wanted to play. I think in that South Africa game, in the afternoon game, they were really good. They put a heap of pressure around the breakdown, which also limited the time we could spend an attack. And that Georgia game, I thought, was probably up there with some of the best we've looked attack-wise. We've got some really quick ball, and it's always easier to play off sort of that front foot quick ball. So look, we're hoping that it's going to be like that on Saturday, and we'd love to play with a little bit more expansion. But if not, I'm happy to go back to how we've been doing it of late.
Can I just ask quickly as well? You mentioned that 27 phases and maybe one for Al as well, but I think that it didn't actually break the line, right? Like, they were steadily kind of had you measure. But did you take something from that anyway, as far as like your ability to hold the ball for that long? And was there any sort of, was it a building block? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we sort of reviewed it yesterday. There were definitely opportunity in those 27 phases. You're right. We didn't move anywhere, and we're playing pretty good opposition too. We can't expect to cut them up in the first sort of 5 minutes of the game. But it was a good way to get our forwards into the game and carry the ball and get the hands of Lenny, Tom Wright, Noah. I thought it was a really good building block for us to head into the game, but. I wouldn't say it was the prettiest footy at times, but I thought the way we controlled it and kept the ball was pretty good.
Alan, maybe one for you. Just on, I mean, actually, yeah, what the restarts, I suppose, has that been sort of something that you've focused on or highlighted, I suppose, from the game, as something that you definitely need to improve?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely an area of growth for us. Yeah, it was probably just like maybe the weather had something to play with that, but also a communication thing between the pod and our wingers there. But yeah, it's definitely an area which we need to improve. Because when we come away with points and then we give them that possession, it just makes it hard for us to get out of our end. So yeah, it's an area for us where we're looking to focus on and be better at this week.
It must feel like you work so hard to, get the points, and then you sort of hand the ball back, and it must be, is it a point of frustration for the team when that happens?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. Like when you feel like you're getting some ascendancy on the scoreboard and then you give them the ball back down at their end, it's a little bit of frustration. But what I did love throughout that game, it was just our defensive work and the way that the boys were working hard for each other. Some of the best collisions that we've seen our boys deliver in the game so far, and yeah, that's definitely somewhere where we want to keep building and growing in our game.
And it was something was made about the tackles, the forwards in particular made, like without missing any tackles. And is that something, like, has Joe sort of brought it all back to basics, or is it a mindset thing? Like, why is your defence kind of, getting back up to, I suppose, what it used to be?
Yeah, I think it's boys are building good habits at training. We've got Lordy Fisher there who's continuing to hammer home the fundamentals of defence, and that all comes off the back of wanting to work hard for each other, being in position early, to then be able to see your target. So those are areas where we needed to improve on over the last couple of tests, which we thought that we saw some great improvement in on the weekend, and it's definitely going to be somewhere where we need to continue to grow in, because they're only going to come out harder on Saturday. And
one last one from me, just about, obviously you've played with Slips for a long time now, both at test level and at the Brumbies. I mean, he's going to join George Gregan as the most capped Wallaby. I imagine he's going to play on the weekend. So, yeah, what does he mean, I suppose, to the team, to Australian rugby?
Oh, he's massive for our group. Someone who's always led by the action. He always gets around the boys and tries to make himself approachable to everyone in the team, whether you've just walked in the door or you've been here for a while. But I think the best thing about him is that he walks the talk, and someone who always leads by his actions on the field and at training, and he's been a great servant to the game. And it's just a credit to him and how professional he's been over the period that he's been involved in the game as well. So he's like a fine wine. He's still going well, the big man, and he's got plenty more tests to come.
Moreno, did you have something?
Hi, good morning from Italy, and a question to Jake and Alan as well. And don't get me wrong, but while calling the match on Saturday, there was the perception that in the first half, there was one team that was in control, more confident, maybe more mature, and that team was Argentina. That perception changed after halftime. Do you agree with that? And if yes, has it changed something at halftime or during the second half? Because that perception honestly changed.
Oh yeah, I definitely think Argentina controlled the first half. They definitely had the wind. It was interesting. I think for the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes, they controlled, I guess, possession and field position. But then it sort of turned. We ended up playing quite a lot of footy in their half. We weren't as sharp as we wanted to be. We probably didn't execute the way we wanted to either. But yeah, look, I definitely think the way we came out of the second half was the way we wanted to. I think from, the first 15 minutes of that second half was probably how we wanted to play. I remember that try we scored. Who scored? Bobby? I think we received the ball on the halfway line about the 40 metre, and I think we played 14 plus phases to get down there and end up scoring a try. But yeah, they definitely controlled the first half with the wind, and I thought we did a really good job coming out in that second half.
Grazie and good luck for Saturday.
Can I just ask one, Alan? There was a report in South African newspapers, I stress it's a report because there hasn't been anything said about it, but the Springboks were looking to get evidence of the injuries in Perth that led to the uncontested scrums, to sort of, I guess, questioning whether they were all legit injuries. I don't know whether you're aware of that, but I guess more broadly, I guess the implication is that, like, Australia don't want to scrum. You know what I mean? You're running from scrums, and maybe some of the South African fans seem to think that. What do you think of that kind of perception that Australia don't want to scrum? Is there a situation where you would even contemplate wanting to go to uncontested scrums because it's some sort of advantage?
Do they think I was trying to fake a HIA or something?
Mate, I don't know. Yeah, I've no idea what they think.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. But like, what I do know is that if someone comes off injured and then we have a HIA like we did on the weekend for myself and Slips, then my understanding is that they can't return back to the field. So, I remember Joe at the end of that game saying that he's never been a part of that game where things like that have happened, and I don't think I have as well. I'm not. Yeah, that's all I know on that.
Broadly speaking, though, confidence in your scrum, you guys, I think you're almost scrumming at 100% on your own ball, right? Like, you're pretty confident in your ability to match all scrums around the world.
Mate, we want to scrum. That's what we want to do, especially as front rowers. And that's a game where you want to take on that challenge. You know, like, you don't want to shy away from that. And we're at a stage in our team where we want to keep growing and keep fronting up against the best. You know, so you never want to shy away from that. So, anything further on that?
Just one for me for Al. Harry Wilson, before the Test match, talked about sort of leaning on guys like yourself and James Slipper just to sort of around that captaincy and sort of understanding the responsibilities. Can you just speak about just what advice you sort of look to give him as a first-time captain, and just how you sort of go about managing that pressure as sort of number 8 stepping into that role for the first time?
Yeah, we were just getting around him, and like, pretty much the message was just to go out there and do your own job. The best thing about Wilson is that he leads with his actions, and we didn't want to change that, to feel that he needed to do more than that. So we gave him the confidence of going out there and delivering his role through his action, but then also help balance him out through, messages and languages. So that was used throughout the week just to make sure that he didn't feel like he had to talk a lot, because he's got the title. So that was a credit to a lot of our leaders, especially, some who weren't playing, but also to our game drivers like Jakey here and Noah, just help continue to deliver that message so Wills can go out there and play well through his actions like he did on the weekend.
So can I just get, Jake, your perspective on that? You've captained plenty of times the Waratahs, but when you have a sort of someone who's sort of stepping in the role for the first time, how do you look to sort of alleviate the pressure on his shoulders?
Yeah, I think pretty much what Alan said. I think, obviously Wilson's played a lot of footy himself, and he's a guy who leads by example, and he's got the luxury of leading on guys like Allan and Slips and Whitey throughout that too. And as game drivers, Noah and myself, if he ever wants a hand around some of the messaging, we're always happy to step in. But yeah, I thought on the weekend it sort of ran really, really well, and I thought he played a great game.
Thanks, guys.
Can I just ask if everyone just came through the game unscathed? Is everyone available for selection?
Everyone was eating the oranges after the game, weren't they?
Yeah, everyone's eating the oranges and watermelons.
Yeah. No, everyone's all good.
Just Isaac, Mel.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. No worries. Good luck, fellas.
Thanks, guys.